Hey, so I just came back from watching The Northman. It's a Viking revenge movie, and it's pretty bad. What makes it bad is mostly the writing. The writing is just garbage. I liked the rest of it. I actually like this movie. Um, it's just the writing is just so bad. It's crazy how bad the writing is. I actually never heard of this movie. Um, I'm on my phone a lot and my computer a lot, and I didn't see any trailers for this, any ads at all. Even when I went inside the theater, I didn't see any like posters of the Northman anywhere. There's like no marketing for this movie, like at all. The only reason I watched it was because my dad told me about it. So yeah, I didn't even know this movie existed for the longest time. So Northman, it's because there's no marketing. I'll go ahead and explain what happens. Uh, it's I think in the trailer they just tell you it's a revenge story, and that's what this movie is. It's about this guy here. He's the son of a king. Uh, his father, the king, gets killed by his uncle, and he wants revenge. He runs away from home, ends up joining. These guys here raise him. He raises. So he starts out as the movie as a boy. These guys raise him until he's a man, and then he just leaves these people. He kind of just leaves these people who raised him without a word. He just kind of goes, and he never tells them that he left. I'm not sure if he actually liked these people or not, but I'm pretty sure these guys here raised him to be from a boy to a man. But yeah, he only talks to these people like twice in the movie, which is kind of weird. Uh, that's one thing that annoyed me the most is he really in the movie he goes from a boy to a man in like 30 seconds. It's weird. They don't show the training. They don't show his relationships. They don't show his struggle. He's just a man now. Uh, so he escapes his uncle by going on a boat, and I guess he just knows how to use it. And it's one of those rowboats. So he rows to the Northman Island, right? So he wasn't originally a Northman, but he goes to Northman to be raised. Alright. And then once he gets old enough, this witch, he kills everybody in this town, and they become slaves. There's a lot of slaves in this movie. Uh, there's a lot of slaves in this movie. So after he kills everybody, this like witch shows up and has to remind him to go fight his uncle, which is weird. You'd think he would know to fight his uncle, but he had to be reminded. And then he literally swims back to his birthplace, which I don't know how. They never show you how far it is. It's literally like he's on the boat swimming to the Northman Island, and then it cuts, and then he's on the island. So I actually don't know how far he swam. It just cuts. They don't show you how. I don't know if it's like 2 feet away, a mile away, 10 miles away. I don't know how far he swam. They don't show that. They just edited that part out. Uh, this movie doesn't really care for details. So yeah, the movie's really bad, but the rest of it I actually liked. Like, you can tell the people who made it were really talented. See, they even went as far as to make him all dirty to show like time has passed, and then he's like a laborer, you know. So yeah. Oh yeah, and this necklace he's wearing is supposed to be a big deal. His father gave it to him, but this necklace is from the village that his father destroyed. Or actually, I think he failed to destroy it. I'm not sure. The movie's weird. I think he failed to destroy it, but he got this necklace on his way out. So this necklace doesn't really belong to his father. It belongs to the village he attacked. But in the movie, they act like this necklace is a big deal. The guy who plays Green Goblin is in this, and he does a great job. He's in 2 scenes, I think. He's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes. So anyways, I'll finish explaining the story. So he swims back to the island, gets caught because his uncle put guards around the shore. He becomes one of the slaves. There's like 20 of them. One of the girl slaves is another witch, and she like reads his mind and figures out he's like the chosen one or whatever. And the witch girl slave helps him out by like doing all these potions and stuff. And I think that's about as much. Yeah, I think she makes like potions and stuff, but I think that's about as much as she could do without getting caught. Him and the witch end up getting married and having kids, which is kind of weird because they only talk to each other like twice. They talk to each other twice and they end up having like kids together. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Also in the movie, the queen, his mom, she well, first it shows her being kidnapped by his uncle and then being forced to marry him. So the queen and the uncle get married, but then she later says, the queen later says that it was her idea to kill her husband, except she didn't want to do it. She had his uncle do it. So the queen was in on the father killing. So anyways, he's a slave to his uncle, and he actually does a really good job. He does such a good job that he gets like promoted to like a slave master, and he continues to do a good job. And at night, he tries to like sabotage his uncle. The thing that annoys me the most about this movie is the Northman is such a good fighter that later in the movie he just like walks up and kills all the soldiers by himself. So really the whole sabotage part of the movie was kind of pointless because you can just beat them in a fight, and they weren't even like sabotage the soldiers. They were like full strength, and he just like one-shots them. So the whole sabotage part of the movie didn't really even matter. Another thing that annoys me is the whole point of the movie was to kill his uncle, and you could have killed his uncle like 4 times, but he never did it. Like, he had the advantage, right? He could have killed his uncle during the night. Never did it. They end up having this really dramatic final fight showdown. And the final fight is actually really good. It's really well choreographed. I actually really enjoyed the final scene. And then he goes to Valhalla after that. But yeah, the writing is just really bad. He keeps like getting hurt, and the way he gets out of it is just pure luck. Like, it's pure luck he survived is when he was a boy escaping the island. It's pure luck that he survived, like being a slave and not getting caught. His uncle was smart enough to check the slaves every now and then to see if something fishy was going on, and he never checked him. So yeah, a lot of this movie is just pure luck. Also, you'll see this guy's face, the Northman. You'll see his face. Like 90% of the movie is just looking at him. So hopefully you enjoy this face, because 90% of the movie is just looking at his face. But yeah, the acting was really, really good. Special effects were really, really good. The fights were actually not half bad. Well, the fight at the end was really good, but the other fights were kind of crappy. They were very basic. And there's not a whole lot else to talk about. There's a lot of Viking rituals that take place in the movie. That takes up a lot of time. And as far as my knowledge goes, I don't even think it's accurate. I don't know a lot about Norse mythology, but I feel like it's wrong. I don't know. It doesn't go for what I've been taught, but maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, I don't even know if Vikings did rituals like that. Like, in the movie, they do a lot of sacrifices, and I don't even know if Vikings even did sacrifices. I feel like sacrifices was like a Greek thing. I don't even know if the Vikings did sacrifices. I know the Greeks and the Aztec did a lot of sacrifices, but I don't know. In the end credits, you see a lot of like Scandinavian names, yeah, I think they were Scandinavian names. So I guess it was written by people who know their stuff. Another thing that happens in the movie is he gets this like legendary sword, made by the best of the best. It can cut through anything. It was made with a dragon's tooth. This legendary sword. This sword, it can't cut through a shield. It can't break normal swords, even though it's supposed to be stronger. And he actually like dies at the end of the movie. So this legendary sword, he could have used any sword really, and it would have done the same thing. So yeah, it's a pretty basic movie. It's a son trying to get revenge for his father's death. It's a story you'll hear a lot. Except this movie has a lot of swimming in it, so there's that. There's also, this movie is like a really hard rated R. There's a lot of like guts, intestines, nudity, slave stuff. There's a lot of graphic stuff that happens in this movie, but most of the graphic stuff is like maybe 10 seconds, You'll see it for like 10 seconds, and then they'll move on to the next thing. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't know. You'll see some really gross stuff for like 10 seconds, and then they'll be on to the next thing. So yeah, the people who made this, really talented. But the writing is just so bad that I just cannot enjoy it personally. The writing is just awful. It just shows this guy just getting lucky. But I don't think they ever say his name. They just call him a Northman like the whole movie. So this nameless guy just gets lucky the whole movie. Oh yeah, another thing that annoys me about this movie is it starts out like really, like a real bang, a lot of stuff happens in the first like 5 minutes, and then the movie just slows down to like a halt. Like there's in the beginning there's like stuff happening like every 2 seconds, and there's so much going on in the beginning, and then after that the movie just slows down to like snail's pace, and then it never really speeds up again. So that kind of annoys me. It's kind of like you think the movie would be fast paced, but it's not. So yeah, I don't know. This movie annoyed me, but the quality of the movie is so high that I don't know. I want to recommend this movie, but also I kind of don't. I want to recommend it because of all the cool parts in the movie, and the movie was actually made by really talented people, and you can tell that they're really talented. Oh yeah, I know this is off topic, but I had to use this picture because every other picture I found, it was called The Northman, but I seen this movie, right? Every picture I seen that said Northman, it wasn't the movie. So maybe it's like a TV show or something. Maybe there's a Northman TV show. But yeah, this was like the only picture I could find of the actual movie. This is like scene 3. You'll see this picture like 20 minutes into the movie. This is very early on. You'll never see these people again. Like you'll see these guys after 20 minutes, and then you'll just never see them again. Sorry, I'm just talking about random things. I seen it a couple days ago, and the movie was just so weird and jarring that's just hard to talk about. Yeah, it's a bad movie, but it's really fun to look at. Not a great review, but I'm just a normal guy, so this is just a normal guy review. Not an expert or anything, but yeah, that's my review of The Northman. It's a pretty basic story, but it's got cool. Like looking at it is fun. Like the people who made this were really talented, but the writing is just so garbage. I just cannot enjoy this. And even my dad, who really likes Vikings, even he didn't like it. So that kind of shows you how bad it is. Alright, I've been rambling on for like 20 minutes. I'll go ahead and end it. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this movie, but if you do end up watching it, there's some cool parts. Just know there's some really gross stuff that happens every now and then. And alright, I guess that's the end of that. Hopefully you learned something. Again, I didn't see any marketing for this movie, so all of this might be new to you. And yeah, Northman's in theaters right now, I think. Yeah, I just watched it in theaters. So yeah, Northman's available right now. Alright, have a good day.